So Carnival Cruise Lines is making a change to their cancellation policy. A reminder to guests of what happens when they miss a cruise port, particularly what you're not gonna get. And we'll get into all of it right after this. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. Alright, so if you are booked on a Carnival cruise between now and January the 14th of 2022, you do have the option to either reschedule or cancel your cruise altogether for a full refund with no cancellation fees. Now, for the guests that this will impact, those that are booked on those sailings, you should have already received an email from Christine Duffy, president of Carnival Cruise Lines, outlining all of this information. Now, the email goes into details on all of the current health and safety protocols that they are implementing on board their ships and informing passengers of what is going to be expected of them while they're on board a Carnival cruise ship. As a reminder, all our crew wear masks at all times, are fully vaccinated, and are receiving booster shots when eligible, it reads. It adds that nearly all passengers are vaccinated and that anyone 2 or older must present a negative COVID test before boarding. And it goes on to remind guests that masks will be required at all times when indoors, except when you are actively eating, drinking, or are in your stateroom. And that is regardless of your vaccination status, whether you're fully vaccinated or unvaccinated, the mask requirement is for everybody. And it also reminds everybody that there will be no smoking in the casinos. You know, Carnival put that out a little bit ago, that they were temporarily going to halt any smoking in the casinos. And look, the bottom line to that is, whether you agree with the smoking or disagree with the smoking, they are taking it out of the casinos in order to have people keep their masks on. That's what that is for. That's what that's about. It's simply so you don't pull your mask down, sit down in a machine, and smoke a cigarette. That's why they took it out. If you want to smoke right now on Carnival, you just have to go outside. And Christine Duffy goes on to acknowledge that, look, even with stricter protocols in place, it is still a possibility that there will be positive COVID tests on board the ship. She plainly acknowledges that this is not a 100% fix-all for any of this. There's still chances there's going to be positive tests. It's kind of expected at this point in time that this is not the last positive we have seen on board a cruise ship. Should that happen, we are prepared to actively manage the situation, protect guests and crew health, and operate your cruise. And something to remember is Carnival Cruise Lines, or any cruise line for that matter, look, they have very limited control over the ports that they visit. If the local authorities in those ports say, hey, you cannot dock or you cannot disembark your passengers, there is not very much the cruise line can do other than comply with whatever local regulations or local requirements are given to them. So the email goes on to say, one thing, Carnival has limited control over its port availability. We want you to know that we may encounter a decision by local authorities at a destination to limit or deny the ship from entering the port. Should any port deny entry, Carnival says they will do our best to find an alternative destination. And the point that honestly, there are some people out there that are not going to like this. Look, the vast majority of cruisers understand that when you sign the cruise contract, which is what you do when you book a cruise, you agree to the understanding that, look, itineraries are not set in stone. Ports may be missed. Stuff happens. But in this email, Carnival does put it out, and they are point blank with this, that look, if a cruise port is missed, there will be no compensation for a missed cruise port. So do not count on getting onboard credit. Do not count on getting anything extra. Do not count on getting a refund if instead of a cruise port, you get an extra sea day if an alternative cannot be found. Now, if you do have any shore excursions booked through Carnival Cruise Lines and any port fees, those of course would be refunded, but you are not going to get and are not entitled to any extra compensation. Something for cruisers to remember. I know I see a lot of times when they're like, well, they owe me. What am I getting? What am I entitled to? Look, according to the cruise contract that you signed when you booked that cruise, you were entitled to nothing. And Carnival Cruise Lines is reiterating there will be no compensation for any missed cruise ports. So keep that in mind as well. And look, Carnival knows this is not going to make everybody happy. Carnival knows that this type of cruising where you may miss ports and there are stricter health and safety protocols, they know this isn't for everybody. And they say, we recognize that given the circumstances, some of our guests may want to consider sailing at a different time, Duffy concludes. So they know and they acknowledge that this may not be for you. This may not be for everyone, which is also part of the reason why you can reschedule or cancel your cruise for a full refund without any fees. Now, for sailings after January the 14th, there is no information on that yet, and any decision they make as to what's going to happen after January the 14th, of course, will be based on the current situation with COVID when it occurs. So as they get a little closer to January, you may see a decision to, say, extend these policies or to end these policies. And I said, it's all going to depend on the situation. And those are the updates from Carnival Cruise Lines. So if you want to cancel your cruise, if you want to move your cruise, and you are booked between now and January the 14th, you can do that without any concern, without any fees. They said you can move it, or you can go ahead and cancel it. But if you choose to sail and you get on the ship, remember, you're going to wear a mask at all times while indoors. And I know it, someone's going to say it, they always say it in the comments, that they were on a cruise and they saw people in the elevator, in the hallway, not wearing their mask. And look, I know, I get it. Everybody agrees to wear the mask before they get on the ship. They get on the ship and then just, you know what, the rules don't apply to me. But karma has a way of getting those type of people in the end. Because one thing to remember, if the cruise line tells you, cruise employees tell you more than one time to put that mask on, and you are refusing to do it, you're just not going to comply, you're going to do your own thing, the possibility of you getting dropped off at the next cruise port and left there, well, that is a real possibility. Failing to follow health and safety protocols can put you right off the ship, could even earn you a ban from the cruise line forever. So I don't recommend that you are one of those people. Just follow the rules. They're there for all of us. I have to follow them. You have to follow them. Don't agree to them. Get on the cruise ship and then try to make up your own rules as you go along. If you don't want to follow them, just don't get on the ship. Don't board. Don't book the cruise. That easy, that simple. Wait till they go away. But if you do book the cruise and you get on the ship and you're following the health and safety protocols and COVID cases come on board the ship and you miss a cruise port, based on this, don't run down to customer service and start wanting to know what compensation you're going to get. Are you going to get onboard credit? Are you going to get a refund? Are you going to get this? Or are you going to get that? Look, based on Carnival, the general answer right now is no. You are not going to get anything. And remember, you agreed to that simply by booking the cruise. I know some cruise lines, some cruise ships may still give something out. That is always a possibility. Okay, but don't expect it, because they can always go back to this and just say no. So keep these things in mind before you book the cruise and ask yourself, is now the time for me to cruise based on what I know, or do I need to wait until all of this calms down? That is going to be for you to decide. All right, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, do me a favor, smash that like button for me. Have yourself a great day, and like always, we will see you out on the high seas.